Okay. To make sure everything is on mute appropriately. I can see the chat room. This is Date Night with the Crystal Matchmakers. Moderator Tanya, I see you. Thank you. We're going to give it just a second here for my for my test audio to come through. Oh, she says, hey guys, you guys can see the chat too, right?
No. We could the last time. No, not now. Yeah.
Okay. It's all in like figuring out which interface to look at for each of the things. So it's always a learning experience each week. Thumbs up in the chat, Tanya, if the sound is coming through. Okay. I think it's a 30-second delay. So, hi, Alka. Hi, Mark.
Hi.
Hello.
Happy spring.
She should be able to hear, I believe. I'm going to go forward. I'm just going to see if there's any flags later. So, thumbs up. All right. So my name is Joel. I'm the Vibrarian, and I am here with Alka and Mark of the Crystal Matchmakers. And this is our monthly date night when we get to see who wants to come home with us. All right. No judgment.
No judgment.
Alka, Mark, welcome.
Thank you. Hi, everyone.
Hello, everybody.
Now, I will say I am disappointed because you just had a showcase for in-person shopping and knowledge, and I'm sure some delicious food like a weekend or 2 weekends ago. And this last weekend? I missed it.
It was last weekend, last Saturday.
Saturday before.
Yes. So how was your event? Like, what did you do?
Oh gosh,
it was a lot of fun.
You know what we do. We bring everyone to Grandfather Celestial, and I don't know if we've ever spoken about Grandfather Celestial on date night. But just for everyone's knowledge and information, we have a 30-pound giant smoky quartz celestial sitting in the middle of our living room. And it's a tradition that anyone who comes for a showcase comes and sits with Grandfather Celestial to get the energy. And he is a community. He brings community together. He's quite a chatty crystal. So anyone sits and puts their hands on him, and he has so much to say and so much information to give and so much love and generosity of wisdom. So obviously, actually it started off as everyone sitting around Grandfather, and we were just conversing about all kinds of things. Conversation was fantastic. We had a great group of people. And then when everyone started, reading the crystals, we had a lot of energy in the room that day, a lot of energy in the house that day, a lot of excitement, a lot of exuberance, a lot of stories.
Yeah, just a really nice congenial atmosphere. It was very friendly. And
that's beautiful.
Showcased some new crystals as well. So it was just a very pleasant all round.
What was your highlight?
I don't know. Hard to say. Maybe one of the things that we'll be showing tonight, some Shadokite.
Okay.
I'm just really in love with that stone in particular.
Okay, I'm dying to see what I missed. That's always the beautiful part also of being in that great vibe energy, is not just Grandfather Celestial, but you have a pantheon of crystals out vibrating, and I know that you all select specifically for each event, so the energy changes every time with what's created. So I really am excited to hear about Shadokite and the other things. Let me just say, we've got people here who have Crystal Matchmakers and their home. We have Stacy here. She's got her lovely Larimar, among other things. And of course, Tanya with her brew site and other things. I mean, we've all got many members of our crystal family that have come to us through you. So I love that the community is here as well to continue sharing in all your crystal energy.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And hi, Stacy. both, and all of y'all have got our harmonizers as well, right?
Yeah.
Where those harmonizers were another thing that we featured prominently at this show as well, because now we've become exclusive on some of the other crystal varieties for harmonizers. The most common in the market right now are the charoite, the shungite, the soapstone, and seraphonites come out now, but we've got so many more: moonstone and sunstone and chrysocolla and lapis. I have my
never
lapis.
seen the variety that you all had, even at the last showcase. I haven't seen that many different combinations that you could really build in terms of how you want to balance your energies.
Yeah, we have new ones coming as well, so that's something to look forward to.
We've got a new order in, because I sent our supplier a list of 15 different crystal varieties, and I said, here, this is what I want, and he came back with 6, and I said, wait a minute, I asked for 16.
Now I can see like a spice rack that's built just for harmonizers. Like when you go in the nail salon, they give you your little, go pick out a color, go pick out a pair, you know?
Exactly.
That's really awesome.
That's what I want to do in my healing practice. Absolutely. To have that shelf of crystals. And, you know, every time I work on someone, to go, okay, what color attracts you? And that's what we want to imbue. And in speaking of crystals and colors, it's so funny. I'm looking around the table at things that we selected for today. It looks like spring's colors are green and blues and reds and oranges. Wow. Yeah. Quite a variety of colors.
Oh, yes. And I was commenting earlier about the yellow and black, like the sunflower vibrancy that Mark has on, and the piece of art behind you. So it is very spring and vibrant timing.
Yeah. And all these oranges.
So, okay. So Shattuckite, I think I was pronouncing it wrong. Can you spell it and make sure I'm thinking of the right
spelling bee here? Yes. It'll be Shattuckite.
Okay.
Shattuckite.
I'm sure I was probably
the gentleman's name. We discovered it was named Shattuck. So in Arizona.
I know I was pronouncing it wrong. So thank you for spelling it. Okay, so where does this come from?
Comes from a few places. Most often these days, the best quality Shattuckite comes from Africa, and specifically the Congo and Namibia. And we have examples of both. We have palm stones from the Congo and a Namibian Shattuckite sphere. And the Namibian in particular, it's this very deep, rich, striking, lustrous blue color. And we have an example right here.
Ooh. Oh, wow. Yes, that is beautifully. It's like almost looks three-dimensional.
It is, because it's got the different shades of blue. Now, the thing with Shattuckite is it also can be mistaken for chrysocolla and various other crystals that have the combinations it has naturally that come from Africa. And the thing with Shattuckite is the blue is the most prized of the Shattuckite. And then you've got a little bit of chrysocolla, a little bit of quantum quattro, a little bit of, various other minerals. Even dioptase. And I'll show you the one from Congo with this beautiful batch of dioptase that's just exceptional. But with Shattuckite, and I'm sure those of you who feel energy are already feeling the activation here on your throat. It's higher heart chakra to throat chakra. So it's the connection between the two chakras, and it kind of melds that together. So whatever truth you speak, you're speaking it with love. You're speaking it from the heart, as opposed to just, saying things out. That's really the beauty of Shattuckite. The other piece of Shattuckite, I find, it also does activate your third eye chakra. So if you look at that connection from the heart to the throat to the third eye, right? And that's kind of, honestly, the triquetra of the connection to wisdom. when you're seeking wisdom to meditate and to do, your work, your healing work that you want to do. So Shatukite's got that energy, and it's that energy with a power, with a bang, with a whew, I'm giving it to you, as opposed to the gentler energy. It's very strong, energetic crystal. I like this one very much. The palm stones we have, you see, kind of looks like.
Yeah.
Really, really beautiful.
Stacy says she's been to Namibia and that it's gorgeous. There's I'm sorry, I got trifocals, everybody. So, I have to do my little thing here. Please continue. I'm going to step off camera because I need to get the oracle card that I drew earlier today. Because it's resonating very strongly for that. So if you chat real quickly.
Absolutely.
Yes, very powerful.
And I mean, this is the piece with dioptase, and I don't know if you could see, there, you could see the green. I mean, if you've been to Namibia or actually this is from the Congo, which is where dioptase comes from. So you'll see that they all kind of grow together. So you see the dioptase with the matrix. Now the dioptase is heart chakra. It's compassion. It's a very, very, compassionate crystal, full of compassion. And dioptase is excellent for empaths. So if you're an empath and you tend to get other energy and you don't know, the difference or the kind of the line between someone else's energy and your energy, dioptase is one that centers you and balances you to yourself, giving yourself compassion to forgive yourself and not judge yourself for whatever it was you did while you were under the influence. Or, if you're an empath and you have a meltdown and you don't know what that, where it's coming from. And I speak about this with knowledge because this has happened to me, true story, major. And this is one Mark experienced with me too. Major meltdown, didn't know where it was coming from. It was massive. I really, truly didn't know where it was coming from. And soon after, I had this exposure to dioptase, and it completely calmed me down. It completely brought me to my own center, and made me realize, okay, what happened was, as part of an empath, you took in a lot. Have compassion. Don't judge yourself. Don't apologize for yourself. It happened to you out of the circumstance. So that's kind of what dioptase does. So if you look at then dioptase mixed with the Shatukite, and you're really speaking through from the heart, you're speaking your through the throat into the third eye. So that entire connection.
This was the card that in the sacred geometry deck, which deals with authority.
Yeah.
And the frequency of authority remind us that true authority is powerful, directed, and realized, yet receptive, wise, and loving. And it says this is about abundance flowing from the heart, and the turquoise is for the high heart chakra, which is immediately what connected me from what you said.
Yeah.
And it is to give where the heart and throat energies merge into loving expression of truth. The gold and yellow represent abundance, truth, enlightenment, and self-realization. There is a numerology of 3, which is energy that speeds up or creates a reaction between two unrelated things without necessarily changing itself. And you talked about the 3, right?
Exactly.
Connecting.
Exactly. And if you look at the matrix, it's brown, and then there's bits of orange and yellow in the matrix too.
Beautiful.
So that almost looks like your card, this piece.
That's amazing. The other card that came up was perception. And it was talking about out of chaos emerges form, even though it seems dissimilar. So both of these messages today very much pull in with that. energy that you're speaking of. I love those colors. It's so unique, and each one is going to be different.
Completely different.
Where the diaptase merges, and the pattern will be very different. Now I know sourcing is very important to you. It just looks like so much like the ocean even.
Yeah, that's what Mark has by his side. He's been wanting to show that, but if you see, that's got yellow and orange at the back as well.
It almost looks like it's painted on.
Yeah.
I think I need to bookmark that one.
This one?
This one.
Mark's favorite?
What is
it with our favorites?
I don't know. I feel like I
not my
need to
favorites.
Tanya said her heart is beating fast. They're saying
Yes.
powerful, gorgeous on these. Okay, so sourcing of crystals, we talk about this all the time. So I'm assuming that any kind of earth resource, be it a diamond or a crystal, can bring conflict to the community where it's being sourced from. So the ones that are coming from Africa, are they also in your sourcing pipeline?
Yeah, no. So the raw material is mined from Namibia or the Congo. I mean, I don't like to use the word ethically. I would like to use the word properly.
Okay.
Properly. And the raw materials then sent to our polisher in India, and then they get it done by hand. And again, it's a family-run business. So everyone who does this gets paid properly. It's part of the whole, it's in the community. They're in the city. So in the city and the community that they're in. So the funds go in the community, and then it comes to us. So again, it's the least hands that have exchanged the crystals. That's why their energy tends to be very pure, very, it's not new energy, obviously, because they're millions of years old, but
it's authentic energy.
Yeah, not been passed on.
Right.
Because the thing is that the crystals carry on the energy of who handles them as well, and the journey they've been through. So you can tell when some of them have been through a really bad journey, their energy suffers and is affected too.
Yeah, I'm not going to name names, but there is an event that I've frequented a couple times in Atlanta when I first was entering the whole crystal shopping network. And by the second or third time, I was like, I don't have to come back, because I felt the energy very differently over time. And I just felt the kind of, I don't know, stagnancy maybe, or lack of vibrancy, that it just wasn't, when it comes up, I'm like, no thanks.
It's a bit of stagnancy, but it's also a bit of, if the person who's taking care of the crystals is their energy as well, because then the crystals become dependent on you to hand them or to make sure the right people get them, right? That's what they're there for. So if you feel despondent, or if you feel, lackluster, they feel it too. I mean, we have all of the crystals stored in our office, and whenever, don't mind me saying this, Mark gets frustrated with technology sometimes, I go, don't say it in front of the crystals. Get frustrated outside.
It's like having children, Can't say that.
They say the cuss word after you say it.
Yeah.
Well, the proper sourcing of ecological resources is a value statement. We all do understand that we are in a paradigm where we are earning income and abundance from the activities that we do. And there are many, many ways and means that products come to our shelves that, are complex, to say the least, when we look at labor and equity and return to community. I think any of us who carries a phone would probably have to put our phones away if we were to really go down all that way. But I love how the two of you have developed relationships with your providers, where not only the story literally of the inventory, but then you're adding to it your story of that particular stone as it begins communicating with you.
No, absolutely. I mean, even polisher. He celebrates, he and his family celebrate Eid. So I was like, Eid Mubarak, you know, and yeah, I know we're not going to hear from you for a couple of days, but have a good time with your family. And he just had a baby a couple of months ago. So he showed me a picture of him and his new baby. It's very sweet. It's thousands of miles away. But I in my mind, I always have this feeling that when we go to India, we're gonna visit with them, and we're gonna go and meet them, and you know, because right now it's been all electronic communication. So there's that desire. We're gonna want to go and share a meal with them because they're in a part of India where the food is amazing. Not that, you know, there's any part of India that doesn't have amazing food, but and the fact that those feelings come out, it means that, you know, there is that. I know from there's that genuine feeling, and here there's a genuine feeling. And in that kind of communication, the transaction is kind of more compassionate and more gentle than just a, you know, vendor customer transaction. Right.
Faceless, nameless objects exchanged between robots. Oh, I do have to share. I think you saw right before when I posted your post today, it was my 888th post. Yay! And then I had a little stat that said you have reached 444 or something like views or subscribers, something like that. That was like right underneath it. I said, okay, Spirit, all right.
Synchronicity.
Thank you for the confirmation. I'm like, today is Crystal Matchmakers Day, infinite return of energy with those 8.
Yeah.
I pulled out my Coventry Creations Lakshmi candle.
That's beautiful.
Which just smells so beautiful. So I don't know if she's going to be associated and appearing with any of the other crystals that you have this evening. But I did want to ask you, when I got my last crystals in the bag, you gifted an extra crystal, and I cannot remember.
That's a turquoise. That's a Tibetan turquoise.
Okay, so
well, actually, no, I should say properly, it's Chinese turquoise, but it's from the West China where Tibet is. Yeah.
Okay.
Just territory wise. Yeah.
I moved my little camera set up
so you'll notice that turquoise that comes from that part of the world tends to be more green, as opposed to that blue that you get from New Mexico, Arizona, and Mexico. So a lot more green.
Very earthy, but it's got a different feeling to it than some of my other. It's more slippery, or it's got a different tactile situation. I don't know how to describe. Is that from
because of the way turquoise is, they have to put stabilizers on the turquoise when they're polishing them so that they don't crumble. So we know the stabilizers. I mean, our supplier that brings us the New Mexico, Arizona, and Mexican turquoise, we've seen the stabilizers. He's actually shown us pieces, and I picked up pieces with the stabilizer. They look like glassy, kind of between acrylic and glass to stabilize the turquoise when you're polishing them. I've never seen the stabilizers for the turquoise that come from that region, from Asia. So I'm not quite sure what type of stabilizers they use.
Okay, that makes sense, because I was like, it feels like a coating or something, but I didn't. It was it's very soothing.
Yeah.
In terms of the way that the stone finishes with it or whatever. So it almost feel like I could break it, but I know I can't, but it makes it feel like you can like a piece of gum or something a little bit. But I couldn't remember what it was, so thank you. And the properties energetically.
Turquoise is your higher heart chakra, so it's very, very protective for your higher heart. It's also the traveler's stone. Always carry a turquoise with you when you travel. It protects the traveler.
Okay. Excellent. I will move it over to my purse tourmaline, rose quartz, and amethyst.
You can even put it in your car.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. Great. Thank you. And the other thing that I didn't unwrap, I knew I had another crystal that I did not unwrap, but when I unwrapped my rhodochrosite and my Larimar last time is this.
Oh, the optical
device.
calcite. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tanya, we have that on the list for you for our next, we're going to Franklin next month. So it's on our Tanya list, the optical calcite.
Yes, this one, you said it's like also Viking stone.
Yeah, it's known as a Viking stone as well. That's that's so funny that we were talking about Viking stone and went into Norway. All of that Viking energy is
Oh,
just
you
amazing.
did just come back from this one. Shows up really good on the light.
Yeah, that does. That is really a one of a kind. I found it in an obscure, looking at a whole bundle of stuff, and I went, "Whoa, this is beautiful." But it was just one. But we'll go back. The same vendor is going to be in Franklin, so we'll look for more pieces.
So you said this was used like as a navigation, like on ship, something like this.
Yep, it was. It's so because of its usage, its energy is very similar to what its usage is for. I find when you work with optical calcite, your vision of what you're seeing during meditation or journeys gets brighter, gets sharper, kind of under like a microscope. Okay. So, and exactly how it was used in the past, its energy makes you see things so much clearer, like you really are looking under a microscope. So if you're meditating or there's something you want to find out that's going on energetically, and you want to, take a closer look at that, optical calcite will help you do that.
Okay. And this has like I think this one even has is it a matrix when it has a little triangle or
you'll find all kinds of things as you work with that, Joelle. I encourage you to work, especially being into research and doing all of the work that you do. When you start the spiritual research aspect of things, keep this one close to you. Okay. You'll see things that you didn't see before.
Okay.
Very
I also
interesting
felt
working
like
with
almost that. Like how Superman would go in the cave and the coding was in it's almost like it's data.
It's his. I was going to say it's his library. Yeah.
Okay. All right. What's the optical? Oh, Stacy said, please add her to the optical
list.
list.
You're added. Yes. You're added, Stacy. Yes. We'll get a bunch. Actually, Joelle, if you don't mind me digressing, and we're talking about libraries, it's never weird, right? There's no coincidence. But I took out some Lemurian quartz, and y'all know how I truly do love Lemurian. But why I brought these two out was because of the Lemurian with the lodolite. We've never quite experienced so much Lemurian with the lodolite. And in working with that, so Lemurian, just for everyone, Lemurian sea crystals carries in ancient information. They were seeded with information from the Lemurian civilization right before the civilization kind of separated, globally, and the continent they were on sunk. So they seeded these crystals and buried them throughout the world. In the early, was it 80s or 90s? They started finding these out in Brazil, which was the first location. Now you find them Brazil, Colombia, the Colombian ones coming out, even in Russia, Asia, many, many places. But the originals still came from, or the first finds still came from Brazil. And these contain lodolite. So, and that's the dark pieces you see. The thing about Lemurians they have these striations, which is where the information that tells you that there's information. So you rub against it and you get that information. So these are like sections in the library. Each crystal actually gives you information from one part of the Lemurian civilization, and also depending on who coded it. So I found these lodolite ones actually belong to people who have come back in this time to find this information. So the
Yeah,
people,
I feel like
yeah.
I'm like, darn it, Alka and Mark. Now I have two lovers today to come home with me because I love both of those. No, I'm saying, but the other crystal I want, I gotta have a mixed match. Wow, those are beautiful. You always do this. I think these are like my personal shopping.
The Vibrarians Personal Shopping Network.
I just let everybody else watch me buy my next babies. No, I
But
love those.
they
Oh,
they they
John
really truly are, and the information they contain is just, I mean, I have one with Lodolite, and again, I just, same as you, a friend was doing a live show, and I said, yeah, I think that one's mine for sure. And now I go everywhere with her because she's mine. She actually told me that you seeded me,
See,
and that blew
I
my mind.
love that. See,
That blew
the
my
magic
mind.
unfolds, right? Like, okay, continuity.
Oh,
I think I got a Brazilian Lemurian from you previously, but I
okay.
don't recall seeing those with
The Lodolites are new, yeah.
yes.
But
And
can
we
I
have a
add
couple of
one
new
more
people
granny?
also. Just to clarify,
Sorry.
the etchings on the side of the Lemurian are that's how you can tell it from another clear quartz or whatever.
Right, the striations.
One surface will have the cross striations and the rest should be clear, right? Well, depending on the cut, but it's the fact that they go like this, right?
Well, this one has 3 sides of striations.
Okay.
Yeah, and then one frosted side and then one clear side. But this one also has a record keeper at the back.
Okay.
You can't quite see it from here, but it has this record keeper at the back.
Okay.
How does it? Yeah.
That's my touch test, is how I can always tell which one's my Lemurians.
Mm.
The various points
Yeah.
that I have as I feel for the ridges, you know.
Yeah. But this one's really clear. The striations are so clear that you just have to look at it and go, okay, yeah, this is a Lemurian. Yeah.
So we've got a few people who are definitely going to want to. Are these in your Etsy store yet?
The
Not
Shatukai
yet. The Shatukai is.
but the Lemurians are not yet.
Okay, I've got your store up here. I'm gonna go look for the Shatukai. Oh my goodness. The spelling is not my forte, but here we go. We get to see if I remembered the spelling. I clearly 2 T's, right?
Yes.
Aha, there it is. Okay, I'm gonna share my screen now. Oh yeah, is it coming?
That's the sphere.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like, I love the areas where you can see the different.
And then you see the green and the silica at the back. Yeah.
Beautiful. Okay, that's amazing. Ooh, it's like the planet or a planet, right?
A planet. It is a planet.
Okay, and then, oh yes,
The palm stones.
the palm stones. Those are great. I love it. See, this is the other thing. This is an example of, if you want to decorate your home with crystals and objects of cultural resonance, natural resonance, please let Alka and Mark know, because they can feng shui and set you up with just perfect crystal living decor into your environment.
Absolutely. That's one of the things that I teach actually, and work with people on. So absolutely.
So when people buy these, are they able to say, I want number 5?
Yes.
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
They can choose any number from them.
Ooh.
If you can go back to the previous one, Joelle, I think it was number 6. Yes. So you see this one with that deep blue,
Mhm.
that's very prized. That color is very, very prized in Shatterkite. The other blues are, again, to have so much blue in Shatterkite is not very common, but that deep blue is really, really very priced in the market. And normally pieces like that cost quite a pretty penny. But again, our supplier, we told him we want the one with the deepest blues, and he's sweetheart that he is. He allows us to choose the ones we want, or he chooses the best ones that he can pick out for us. But this one looks like like land, you know, you have an aerial view of a.
It looks like a cenote in the Mayan Yucatan, or a big blue hole kind of feature where that water gets super dark, right?
That's true, exactly.
It looks like a painting, like it was painted on.
Yes. Oh yeah, this one has a.
There's another patch of the deep.
Yeah, there's one at the bottom.
It has to load up. Oh yeah.
It almost has a gemmy quality to it.
Like sapphire or something.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so these are available in your store. And of course, this one looks just amazing.
That's Quantum Quattro. So all of the Shatterkite have some aspect of Quantum Quattro. So that's why it came up in your search. The Quantum Quattro piece is from Peru, and it contains this quality, or this aspect of heart healing and the heart chakra. This one's got so many caves, and I call it botrytal growth. All of that botrytal growth just speaks to lushness and richness of life, of what it is. It's really quite a special piece.
Beautiful. So this has got Shatterkite, and what else?
It's got some of the same minerals, but not quite Shatterkite. It's got the same minerals though, gem silica and
I love that.
chrysocolla and okay, I cannot pronounce this right. What's the mineral with C that I can never pronounce?
C.
Cacoxonite? No.
Cacoxonite.
That's
yeah, cacoxonite. Yeah.
I can never pronounce it.
There's one other, but I can't remember which. But
cuprite.
Crimson cuprite. Isn't it sometimes referred to? Is it a crimson
cuprite? That's right, cuprite.
Yeah, those fissures and the textural part aspect of it is just gorgeous. Okay. Yeah, everyone, please be sure to check out the other beautiful things. What other stone did you say you pulled out tonight? Is there a version of it in the store that I can go to while we're getting ready to look at it?
We don't have the malachite rubellite. Since we do have rubellite in the store. Rubellite is Rubellite. And we do have some rubellite galettes.
Ooh. Oh, Etsy, no, don't make me sign in and start shopping. Oh, yes. See, that's beautiful. I mean, really, even as a feature, like to have, throw your keys in the bowl. It won't hurt to hold the crystals like on the internal side. Let me get out of this so we can see your screen bigger. Okay,
yeah, so
holding up one.
If you see the rubellite, the red is actually ruby red tourmaline. And then it's it grows in with quartz and with agate, with all of those other colors. So I like, just elaborating on what you said about throwing the keys in a bowl as you enter your house, right? You want to cut all the cords that you brought, and you don't want to bring them into your house. What a wonderful thing that in your bowl of keys that you used to throw your keys or whatever, the first thing you do, put in some fluorite, some citrine, because fluorite helps you cut cords. and citrine brings that positivity. So when you walk through your house, it's almost like you're walking through a force field, right? Of that great energy. And yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's, you know, when we talk about feng shui for the house, that's one of the first things I teach is kind of neutralizing your entrance, so that when you walk through your door, be it from your garage or your front door or wherever, that you have something that cuts off all of that, those cords you've brought into the house or you've carried from your day, and that your house is your sanctuary.
So that all negativity is left behind
Yeah.
the door, so to speak.
All right. So fluoride, and what was the other you said?
Citrine. You can any one of those. Yeah, fluoride, citrine. I recommend at the door fluoride, black tourmaline, amethyst, and selenite. So if you have big pieces, decorated pieces, that's fantastic. But if you don't, just a bowl of that, yeah, would be great.
Yeah, you wonder why people don't want to come in. You say, hey, you want to come in? And they're like, no, I got somewhere to go. It's like,
yeah,
well,
you know. You know. Yeah, you're not coming to the house because, you know, you don't
right, black totally
well,
did his job.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. So, all right, what other crystals do you have just to share? You mentioned seraphim.
Well, I mentioned seraphinite when we were talking about the harmonizers, but we don't have seraphinite harmonizers yet.
Okay.
Yeah, we're planning to get some from vendor we met last year in Denver. We didn't quite like the pieces that he had, so we've asked for to bring in different pieces.
Yeah. So we do have those malachite. Some very good quality malachite boxes and palm stones, and malachite is often found along with shadakite and with chrysocolla, so it kind of fits in well and shares some of the same properties with shadakite. It's a very good protectant, so you can keep it, I think, along with selenite and citrine at the by the front door to ward off negative energy, because it wards off all kinds of negative energies and feelings and so on.
There. I'm going to contradict you there. So in my teachings, malachite is the attraction stone. So malachite attracts anything that you want to attract. And people sometimes give this out and say, oh, this is a love stone. You want to find someone. Well, you have to be careful too when you speak to an attraction stone, because an attraction attracts whatever you're thinking. So Mark is always thinking of protection, and therefore from his point of view, protection, this is a protection stone because he's thinking he wants to attract that protection, right? So you're not wrong. Malachite's great for post-surgery as well, because what it does is it pulls out pain. So if you think again, the principle of attraction, you put it somewhere and it pulls the pain out. So if sometimes you have a blister, or if you have something that just happened recently, malachite's really good at, like a magnet, at pulling that pain out.
Well,
and in that,
pulls sickness out too, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
You dropped one of them in my hand at the, last year, dropped a malachite. Like 3 days later, I'm wondering why I'm purging. My sinuses are blocked. I was like, oh, I didn't think I was ready for like a healing purge, but apparently it needed to draw that out. I feel kind of cautious about malachite. Like I usually would say, get an amethyst or a softener with it. Otherwise, it might be like a cauterization or amputation in the healing process instead of a soothing little.
No, it's not. It's not soothing at all. It's an immediate. So if you need, it's ripping off the Band-Aid. It really is. It hurts, but it's for your benefit, right?
You say that so sweetly too.
That's because I'm holding malachite.
Sounds good coming from her.
And it's telling me what to say.
Yes. Yeah, that's what mommy always says right before she squirts the alcohol on you and burns your head,
Oh, sweetie, it's just gonna hurt a little bit. the other thing that a lot of people don't realize or recognize from malachite is also attracts abundance, also attracts wealth. So which is why when I saw these boxes, I went kind of cuckoo crazy over them, because how sweet to just, put your abundance crystals like citrine, ammonite, and carnelian, and, some coins in this little box in your abundance corner of your house, and for that abundance to be attracted, and a little, affirmation if you want. Also, if you use these boxes and put affirmations in, it's going to attract that affirmation to you.
Okay.
So whatever you affirm. So yeah, so go ahead.
When you first brought it out, a thought came to mind. Okay, what would you think if a person had, like, say, an ancestor or a person that they had some unresolved healing to do with? Would you put that person's picture in the box or their name in the box, or would that be like, maybe, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? What would happen, do you think?
That actually is it. Now you've given me a really good idea. I put the picture, but then I put an affirmation of what, because if the person's passed on, you don't want their soul to come and haunt you in the middle of the night or anything like that, if they haven't gone into the light. But that's such a great idea, that to be very specific about releasing an ancestor or healing with an ancestor, to put that affirmation there. And if you have a photograph or a picture, to put that in the box as well. Yes, absolutely.
I'm a little wary about putting people in boxes and jars and things like that. Like, I need to make sure that I'm aligned, because I don't want to ever impinge on the sovereignty.
Yeah.
But the healing aspect of, like, especially if the person isn't there present to heal with you, but so I can understand not wanting to draw their energy through, if it's not healed and of a high vibration, but to call the higher aspect of that individual self through that, and maybe not using a picture, then maybe using a word like the higher soul of the mother or the father or whatever.
I would check in with your guidance as well, because use a pendulum, check in with your guidance or with your connection. Is this the right way to do it? Always, whatever we do, I always say check in with your guidance.
Right. Right. That's what it popped in my mind, and then I'm like, wait a second. As you started talking about extra things of malachite, I'm like, well, maybe that wouldn't be so great.
The practicality of it is, yes, you can do it, but the practice of it is check in with guidance, check in, that you're doing the right thing. Yeah, because you just don't want to mess with forces.
Right. I guess I'm thinking maybe put myself in that kind of chamber, say, okay, I'm going to meditate with my aspect contained within this malachite chamber while I'm doing this for 30 minutes, and use that and heal from the inside out instead of through the external.
Yeah, that's a great idea and suggestion. You always have these great ideas and thoughts. Now I'm gonna
well, they're not, they channel down. I've been sitting here rubbing.
That's just fantastic. Yeah, that's
I was just rubbing the little steer stuff.
The information that you never had before is coming through now.
Yeah. So, those malachite pieces, you had several beautiful ones. Every time I come over there, I just laugh because it literally triggered like what ended up being, I think, a full 7 to 9 day kind of cold purge.
Yeah. Just the malachite color is so attractive. Malachite is a very attractive stone. Ergo, the attraction, the attraction stone.
Some druzy in it.
Yeah, do you want to show it in the light? The other way. Yeah.
There we go.
So that's kind of got fissures in the caves with some druzy inside. The only thing with malachite is, especially if like the one with druzy, which has a bit of the raw in it, is always wash your hands after. Not so much with the polished pieces, but it's got a little bit of toxicity.
Yeah.
So a person would never want to have a malachite yoni egg.
You've told me this story before.
No, I'm just wondering. I mean, I don't think it's on the list of crystals safe for that practice, is it?
So no, I've had, then if it's not you, then I've had this conversation before with someone who had a malachite yoni egg, and yeah, me telling them do not do what you want to do with it. Yeah, I mean, even putting it in water, don't put it in water, because
Okay.
Even in your bathroom where you have, your after shower steam, and don't put malachite in the bathroom as well.
What about in your plant base? Not in plants either.
No,
No.
don't put it in plants either.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good to know. I always learn so much. So it's telling me my connection's a little unstable here. Hopefully I won't lag too bad. What is next in terms of educational opportunities? What do we need? We need to get together to figure out about this crystal dig. The weather is getting ready to be nicer consistently, and I would love to get out there at one of the mines and have that day we've talked about. But time is moving so fast, and you guys are so busy, and I mean, everybody's just busting forth with all these beautiful things.
Well, and this year is even busier for everyone. So yes, I'm getting ready to publish a series of courses starting in the summer, in person and on Zoom for those who are not in Atlanta. Obviously, this is an experience I'd love for everyone to have in person, because I always bring my own specimens and we get to show and tell and we get to play. So that's going to be published through this collective group that we formed called the Divine Path. And there's a monthly newsletter with Glenda, Joelle. So we're doing that together, and it will be once a month over a set number of series. You can take a few classes in the series. You can take one, choose based on the modules, or you can take the entire series. So it's up to you. It starts with the basics and goes into the basic crystals, the crystal knowledge, crystal shapes, how to work with your crystals, how to connect with your crystals, journaling, feng shui with crystals. So just everything, and then an advanced level after that next year. So that's what we're doing from a courses perspective. From we'll continue to have the showcases once every season, and continue to grow the Etsy store. So for now, that's our biggest focus. Continuing to source for crystals that are unusual, that just come from the proper sources, and having fun with them, of course, obviously, right? And I continue to, whatever new thing we found, I continue to work with them and write about them, and hopefully that book gets published next year.
Book and Oracle deck.
Yeah, book. Yeah, Oracle decks next. Yeah.
Now, when is Franklin?
Frank, go ahead.
Franklin is next month, the third week of May.
Okay.
Of May.
We're right on the cusp of May. I'm like, what do you mean next month?
When you say May or June, no, I'm not ready for June yet. I am not ready for June.
Well, for people who want to be specific, you do take conversational consultations with people.
Yes, we do.
To get an idea of what they're looking for, what purposes. That way you can have them in your awareness when you're shopping. I know watermelon tourmaline was
still on the list.
You were looking at and continue to look at. I know the rhodochrosite. Tanya said her crystal budget is over for May. So I don't know. I guess.
Wait, we're not even in May yet, Tanya.
I imagine she'll probably Gooba's Gourmet is gonna sell a lot of cupcakes and cakes. I'm sure.
Absolutely.
But but that's the beautiful part of being able to really have the your eye on behalf of us as clients to be purveyors of fine crystal family members. So
No,
you already know what to keep a lookout for me, and I love that you communicate when you're coming up for air in between everything, So it's got to be exciting to be able to go have fun with like a budget to go do this kind of shopping with, right?
Complete. And that's how it started, right? I had a few of my students ask me to do that for them. And then I had a few of my shaman community, peers ask me to do that for them. And it became such a wow, okay, if someone gives me a budget and I can go and actually talk to these crystals and go, this person, needs you, and get the right price, get the right product. And that's actually how Crystal Matchmakers grew. It was about matching people to their crystal friends. I used to do that as a kid. I used to give people rocks and they'd go, what's wrong with this child? And I go, no, this rock says you need it or it's yours. So I feel I'm doing the same thing, but now as an adult, I'm just doing it properly and not just randomly just saying, here's a rock from the floor for you.
We still do that sometimes too.
Yeah, I do.
Right. Well, it's all the same flow that comes from the higher consciousness that a child at any age. So that's the fun part. Let me see if we have any other comments. Well, we have people being breathless. They've all been looking at it. And there's a reminder that we are still doing the Chinese New Year excursion. We've got to get together on that, Alka, for
the Singapore trip.
In the next
so
year cycle.
We've got a retreat in Bali, Chinese New Year excursion to Southeast Asia. And we've got, this one's probably closer than the other two, but the mining trip. And because I've been thinking of Arkansas a lot as well. You know how we love Arkansas quartz. And just to put our hands in that. So Arkansas, Herkimer, New York. And there is a site here in Atlanta, in Georgia. But I need to get in touch with the owner of the site to see if we can plan something out. Not in the dead of summer, because we don't want people to go through that, but something in the fall maybe.
Well, I know Jackson Mine is one that I see pop up, and there's a couple that I would like to make it approximate for a day trip, because I have people who want to bring their kids for just like, or young people for it. Then let's go be adulting and get away and go crystal shopping and go to hot springs and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know when, and we can touch base about that offline and keep everyone posted.
Absolutely.
It's been out there in the ethers for a while, so let's see if we can bring it down for this spring.
There's just a lot to involve. Because again, in speaking to that person who has a mine here in Georgia, it's organizing a bus, getting everyone there, signing liability. Because it's as safe as they make it, but we don't know, right? Someone drifts to a place because they found something shiny, and then you end up falling, So we have to consider all of that.
I'm that person that tumbles down the hill. Roll my ankle.
So I'm tying a rope around you, Joelle, and we're tying that rope around you and Mark, so that every time there's a nudge, Mark's like, okay.
My friend Dawn lets me use her walking sticks. Okay, that's the only way I made it around Shasta without rolling the ankle. So between everybody, no, but definitely
we'll take care of you.
We want to plan it properly, but definitely know that the interest is there from our Crystal family, and I know that next month we'll get together and see if we can figure out another date. It looks real interesting around the 20th. We got lots of graduations, and we got Mother's Day and all kinds of stuff. So we'll shoot for an 8:00 date for you to meet us again for more matches. And please, everyone, contact the Crystal Matchmakers at gmail.com or on Instagram at the Crystal Matchmakers. you saw the Etsy store, you're catching a theme, Crystal Matchmakers, definitely reach out. And if you saw something today, message me, put it in the comments. I think we kind of have notes as to who wants what. So we'll make sure that you're matched.
Yeah. We have your little box ready,
That's
Joelle.
right.
Crystal layaway, like Kmart back in the day.
Yeah, Crystal
Right.
layaway.
I made car payments. No, actually, your crystals are very much affordable and worth every penny for the quality and the trust factor that I have for the products that you have. It just feels wonderful to be able to shop with you and be friends with you too. So I thank you guys so much for your time this evening. And
Thank you very much, Joelle. Thank you.
Oh, me, everybody's raising their hands. So yeah, everybody's saying so much positive back to you all. Thank you for tonight.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much, Joelle. We appreciate all of you and have a great week ahead, everyone. Thank you.
Awesome.
Good night.